get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teach Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teach Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teach Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teach Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teach pack. Feel the Teach, my friends. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Welcome to another edition of... Here we go. Welcome to another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. Please excuse the slight problems that we may have here or there with regard to making sure that the live stream is going without a hitch. I will have that fixed shortly, hopefully by Thursday, because Wednesday I got another lens coming. I might have to just switch out cameras altogether. I might have to do some upgrades in here. Time to go with some really high-powered cameras. I don't know. But I heard a lot of people is back in the fold. A lot of people are back at work. Everybody is starting to get back to the bag, right? I don't have to get ready because I'm already ready. I never got outside of what it was that I was doing in the first place. So we back in the building. Shout out to everybody that is back on the road. Shout out to everybody that enjoyed their weekend. I know y'all need that quality time off. Hopefully you spent some time with your friends and your family. Hopefully everybody is safe. Nobody was in Chicago getting dealt with accordingly. Hopefully nobody was over there on O Block. Shout out to all of my people that's in O Block. Watching here from O Block. Do y'all got good internet over on O Block? Y'all getting y'all mail safe? What up, chat? What's happening, friends and family? Shout out to all of my people out there in content creation land. I would ask for you guys to hit a like for the algorithm. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and turn on your notifications. If you have not already, make sure you share this with your friends and family. We are going to rock out for the rest of the week. Now, the interesting thing about it is that for those of you that took yesterday off, shame on you. You know the Millionaire Morning Show live streams every single weekday, regardless of whether or not it's the birthdays, regardless of whether or not we have holidays, no matter what. We always stream. Hey, shout out to the people over there in Milwaukee, too. I see y'all. Shout out to matter of fact, everybody in the chat, let's do a location check. I know we do mental health checks. I know we do financial checks. Everybody in the chat, let me get a location check. Let me know your city, the city where you at right now. I want to know where you at. Everybody in the chat, put where you from. I see Swaggy said Mobile, Alabama is checking in. Shout out to Mobile, Alabama. Shout out to Chicago. You here to tell a story? Love, see. I know my dog Kojak is in Detroit. St. Pete, Florida is in the building. Detroit, what up, though? Toronto, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Phoenix, Columbus, Atlanta, Austin, suburban Detroit, Florida, let's see, Philly, Lansing, South Carolina, Vero Beach, Tampa, Novi, Elizabeth, Jersey, Sacramento, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Charlotte, Chicagoland, Grand Rapids, Dallas, Raleigh, Rio Rancho, Detroit. Nancy is in. Where's Nancy at? I ain't see where you was from, Nancy. Cincinnati, Clarksville, Germany, Shelby, Milwaukee, Jacksonville, Huntsville, Alabama said Roll Tide. The Bronx and Y, Atlanta, Raleigh, Seattle. Hey, that's not fair over there in Alabama as far as y'all football team because y'all don't got an NFL team. And so because y'all don't really have any other sports, that's like y'all NFL team. You know what I'm saying? San Antonio, I can't wait to visit San Antonio. I ain't never been there. New Orleans, Omaha, Nebraska, Augusta, OKC, North Carolina, Germany, Dayton Beach, Florida. Shout out. Jamal Parks is in the building. Shout out to Jamal Parks. I'm going to be reading that in a minute. Let's see. Tampa. I got to go down there for a birthday party this weekend. Metro Detroit in the building. Shout out to my dog, Real Estate Jones. I'm going to connect with Real Estate Jones. I'm going to connect with Real Estate Jones. We're going to run that bag up together. Athens, Georgia, Detroit, Minneapolis, Racine, Wisconsin, NYC, Tampa Bay, Palm Beach, Florida, Richmond, VA. What up? NYC in the building. Nice. Is that Nice, France? Baltimore, let's go Bucks. Shout out to Massachusetts, Memphis in the building. I've never been to Memphis. I'm going to Memphis. Tacoma, Houston, Nova Scotia. Shout out to my people in Nova Scotia checking in. Listen, I love y'all. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Make sure you get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. I got my girl, Island Girl Q was in the building. Said, hey, what up? She said she on her couch. Nah, Q, you in Houston. We're attaching Houston to, I don't care what part of Texas that you say that you in. You have been in Houston for a while, so I'm going to give you Houston. Straight up. Shout out to Chicago. Somebody said they in Stripperland. What up to Houston and Virginia Beach, Buffalo, NY. If y'all didn't check out the show last night, shout out to the show last night. It was a great show. We started having some wild, I'm going to get into that in a minute. Let me get to my housekeeping out of the way. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. If you're not a Patreon member, you need to be a Patreon member because when I drop that location of where we doing the Patreon meetup in D.C. today, I don't want y'all whining. I don't want y'all complaining, talking about Anton ain't tell us where it is. Nah, listen, you just ain't a part of the Bag Chasers. So make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. On top of that, make sure that y'all tap into that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description. Q, yes, you claim Houston. We are attaching you to Houston. I'm always going to be Detroit, no matter what. I was born and raised here, went to Cass Tech, grew up between 7 Mile and 8 Mile on Green Lawn. Shout out to my Green Lawn and my Scony Islands out here in the building. I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly. I'm going to get to the Cash App shortly. But I got to give one more clarification, right? Before we really get into the show, I want to give a clarification. So I'm not going to play the video because YouTube is really, really cracking down on censorship right now. I'm telling you, even stuff that I review on a Millionaire Morning Show, they are making it 18 and over, removing ads, all of that stuff, right? I mean, everything on Fight Club is in the yellow. And if you're a content creator, you know what I mean by saying it's in the yellow. It's in review mode. Most of that stuff, it don't even pass the checks anymore. So I'm going to make a very, very concerted effort, not just for the YouTube algorithm, but also I'm going to make a concerted effort because I was requested yesterday, not yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before or the week before? I was requested recently. They said, Anton, if you stop cussing, we can throw this on in the church. If you stop cussing, we can throw this on the TV in the daycare. If you stop cursing, I can throw it on the TV at the crib and I ain't got to worry about anything like that. So listen, I'm going to make more of a concerted effort to make sure that you can play this in the movie theater. You should be able to play Anton from Anton Daniels in the church. You should be able to play Anton from Anton Daniels in the church without having to worry about me cursing anymore. I got you. If I am going to jump into that mode, I will make sure that I preface the conversation by saying you might want to put your headphones in, all right? Cool? Deal? Because the church need financial literacy too. The church need the game too. The church needs to know what's going on in these streets, and they need to know how it comes back into the money, all right? So I'm going to make more of a concerted effort to try to get my $30 million by showing the powers that be that we are able to control our tongue, because the power of life and death is in the tongue, right? But let me revisit something that we talked about yesterday, all right? So before we really get into the show, somebody said it's a little bit of an echo. Sorry about that. Try to make the modifications. Before we get into the show today, I want to give one clarification, all right? So one of the early topics that we had amongst the many, and I had to give you guys a self-check on understanding. I might have to deep dive into that on Wednesday a little bit more. I might have to deep dive a little bit into Wednesday on this and a little Wednesday and a little bit more. Because I was telling the women the real. Nobody has ever gave it to y'all the way that I gave it to y'all last night. Last night, I really broke down the sentiment of men, side chicks, why they cheat, wives, the whole night. If y'all did not watch that live stream last night, y'all really need to go and restream that because it was too much game. Too much game. I am going to break it down even more probably on Wednesday. And I think instead of going live on YouTube on Thursday, I think I might go live on Instagram on Thursday and just let the ladies be able to cam up and say whatever it is they want to say, ask whatever questions they want to ask. I'm still working that out. Q want me to go live. Cliff, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. I got you, fam. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. But let me give one clarification. All right? One of the early subjects that came up last night was this woman that was complaining that black men weren't protecting her because allegedly she got hit in the head with a brick. Now, she looked like she got hit in the head with a brick. I don't know why he would feel compelled to hit her in the head with a brick. It looked like he could have did just as much damage with his fist. Who knows? And I'm not going to play the video again because YouTube is in censorship mode. I don't know if they're trying to get to the bag. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. But YouTube is really, really cracking down on the 18 and over conversations. Even if you don't show anything. If you just have certain conversations, they like, hold on. I don't know if that's good for kids. You know what I'm saying? But I changed my mind because Quentin said something. And Quentin said, yo, yeah, what about when she was slapping people? And I was like, I ain't know about that part. And then Q was like, no, that don't have nothing to do with this particular thing, right? And I said, oh, okay, cool. And so my sentiment was nobody should put their hands on anybody. And that would solve for the problem of people having to worry about protection from other people and then them requiring black men to then crash out, right? Black men to then crash out. But I changed my mind. And I don't change my mind about the fact that people should keep their hands to themselves. I changed my mind about her. I changed my mind about her. You know what I realize about women is that they're more willing than ever to overlook the other part of the conversation that also adds context as to why she was even in a position to get a brick put on her head in the first place. No women. They only see the tragedy. They only see the offense. They only see the lack of protection according to them. They don't see what warrants that type of energy in the first place. Yo, I know women who have never got, Rita specifically, has never gotten into a fight in her entire life. That's a fact. Rita has never gotten into a fight in her entire life. And you have to ask yourself, well, why is that? Doesn't mean that she has never been offended by something that somebody says. It doesn't mean that she hasn't ever been, in a situation, especially being raised in the hood where she's seen some egregious stuff. But the reality is that most women that truly operate in their femininity, they never, ever, ever find themselves under duress. Most. You can't speak to the minority. Of course, you're going to have the anomalies. Of course, you're going to have the monsters out there or whatever, right? But that's just a matter of convenience. Most people, most women, Randy said neither have she. Nikki said they ain't never got into a fight. Treese ain't never got into a fight before. You have to wonder, how come it's the loud, ratchet ones that always find themselves with the most scars on their face? And it's never the ones that operate with that sweet voice, that femininity, that automatically show a level of respect to everybody, including the men that they interact with on a regular basis. Men may catcall you. Men may want your number, but they're not just going to go upside your head with a brick. And so When I looked at the hospital video and I seen her cursing out the black man that was around her being loud, the first thing that I had to ask myself is, why did she automatically start pulling out a phone in order to go live to go viral in the first place? The second thing that I asked myself is, first I had to recall what it is that she said. She said, yo, she was in the hospital. She said, no, I never, ever did anything to deserve this. I ain't never put my hands on nobody in my entire life. Then the remix happened, and I seen her slapping a white man. He was sitting there. He didn't say one word. So should we be finding him and trying to advocate for this white man that got hands put on him by this angry black woman? And you know what the interesting thing about it is? 2 different videos, same outfit. Was it the same night? 2 different videos, she had the same clothes on. Was it the same night? Why did she feel compelled to slap this white man in the face and he never said one word to her? She said that I've never done anything to warrant anybody putting their hands on me, but she felt compelled to be able to put her hands on somebody else. So A, the witness is no longer credible. The witness is no longer credible. Why do people feel as though they can put their hands on other people and then there'll be no consequences that come along with it? Let me revise that. Why do women feel as though they can put their hands on other people and then they're becoming the victim and then they expect for somebody else to be able to crash out for them when they didn't get whatever type of karma that comes along with them? Again, you talking to a person that's not advocating. I don't believe in confrontation. I believe that everything should be able to be solved by either walking away or making sure that you have good energy and not even inviting it. Don't even put yourself in that position. And I really wish that we can solve everything by not actually putting our hands on each other. So that's where I stand on that. So let's be very, very clear. But why are we ignoring the fact that she slapped another man? Why is she putting her hands on men in general? Because if he'd have crashed out and monkey pounded her, then y'all would have all been jumping on his back. You know what's so funny? People are always going to inherently come to the rescue of women, even if they don't even know. We just now get into the spaces where we're in a position to where we're now having the conversations and telling men, yo, ignore what your nature is to automatically come to the rescue of a person, because you got to look for the context to understand why she got you crashing out in the first place. Ignore your inherent nature to just automatically come to her rescue. And now guys have been retrained based off of the energy that women have given them. And now we have video evidence, thank you God for social media, to actually show that everything is or may be warranted based off of the energy that you put out there. Why? Why are you provoking men? Why are you putting your hands on men? If you in a relationship, that's not cute. All of you young chicks and all of you old hoes that continue to put your hands on people and you doing it because you think that the makeup sex is going to be much better, that's not cute. Ain't nothing cute about putting your hand, you put your hands on me, instant attitude. You got to go. You got to go. You got to get out. I'm unfollowing you. I might block you. I'm never talking to you again, because if you ever feel as though you can disrespect me by putting your hands on me, we got a problem. Don't put your hands on men. You ain't got to worry about anybody doing nothing to you. Men are not monsters. They are not going to just walk up to you and just do stuff to the overwhelming majority of you, unless he's just a jailbird. He needs to go to jail anyway. But men by default are not going to walk up to you and do anything to you. And ladies, y'all need to really hold these women accountable, honestly. You really need to hold these women accountable, because they messing it up for y'all. Now we don't believe you. You need more people. We no longer believe when you say something happened to you, because y'all keep supporting bad behavior from women that keep lying about their circumstances. We're no longer by default believing women because too many of them have created egregious offenses against men and accused them. It's too many men that are getting out of jail today. Too many men are getting out of jail today for being accused of things that they did not do. Did you know that? I don't know where it is, where it's happening in your city, but in Michigan, if you're even accused as a man of doing something with regard to your hands to a woman, do you know that they sit you down for 3 days inside of a jail? And if it's the weekend, it's going to be even longer before you even see a judge? We got to stop, y'all. We got to stop. We have to stop. We cannot continue to put y'all in. We cannot continue to put ourselves in a position. Ladies, y'all have to take some level of accountability for who it is that y'all are and what type of situations that y'all putting yourselves in. We can't save you from yourself. If you don't want to do the thing that's in your best interest, we can't save you from yourself. We cannot save you from yourself. Okay? I'm just telling you. We cannot save you from yourself. If you don't want to do the thing that's in your own best interest, please do not come to us with your problems. We cannot save you from yourself. All right? Let me read some of the super chats and then we're going to get started with the show. Shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you, my friend. Shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude. I appreciate you for tapping in, big dog, on Cash App. Also, let me hit 7 more of these. Jamal Parks is in the building, says, Anton, which is better, a CPA or a CFP? Well, CPA is the most popular, right? Because essentially what a CPA is it's a licensed accountant, right? A CFA stands for financial analysis, all right? So if you look at the salary, they're very close. I think that a CPA makes on average somewhere around 93, somewhere between 90 something and $100,000 a year. Financial analysts, I think that they're somewhere in 100,000 range. So it's very similar. It's really just a matter of how much dedication that you want to put into your craft. I don't think it really matters either way. I really don't think it matters either way. It's really whatever you're more passionate about, whatever you're going to put the hours in, passing these exams. And then I don't even think that you should lean into either one of them is looking at it as a career. You should look at it as a foundation for you to leapfrog into growing further into corporate America and then leveling up when it comes to the businesses that you run, right? So I don't think it matters either way. It just depends on what it is that you want to study. If you want to go into the details of the hours that you have to put into the tasks, the potential jobs that you can acquire as a result of it, I can pull it up really quickly right here. But for the most part, a CPA is their manager of money, right? A CFA is basically they're the people that participate. If it's me, right? Let me revise that, right? If it's me, I'm going to be a CFA. If it's me, I'm going to CFA. I think that the ceiling is higher. So if you just want to work with people based off of or starting your own business or doing some kind of financial reporting or auditing or something like that, then you can go over there and be a CPA. If you want to become a CFA and you want to go into risk analysis, if you want to go into research, be a portfolio manager, if you want to go into being a CIO, you want to go and be a CFA, right? Think about it like this. Your ceiling as a CPA is a CFO, certified chief financial officer. Your ceiling as a CFA is a chief information officer. All right? That's what I would do, right? It's some people in the chat that will probably debate and say that they probably would go with a CPA more. I think that me personally, based off of where it is that I would go with a CFA. All right. So shout out to y'all. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely great. So it really depends on where it is that you're trying to go, and what your objectives are. So make sure you join into the Patreon. One of the things that they talking about inside of the Discord is a lot of the financial jobs that you can get into, and so you should probably go into having a conversation with people that are more well versed in those specific fields. Mine's is more or less aligned with information technology, especially as it relates to UX UI. So it just depends on where it is that you're trying to go. CPA is more recognized. You're absolutely right. So let me read some more of these super chats. And then, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate you. Let me deep dive in a little bit more. Eric Isaacson says, I'm here to listen on how Major Johnson obfuscating nowadays. Who is Major Johnson? Magic Johnson? Is it Magic Johnson? Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Y'all trying to trip me up with the words. Cliff Williams in the building says, Anton price of the brick change for women. All they got to do is be in places they shouldn't be in late at night and mouth off. And dudes is not having it no more. They is not protecting y'all. So y'all better be careful. Right Insight says her GoFundMe is already at $32,000. Really? Really? Wow. That's pretty interesting. So she finessed y'all. Bob Brown says, yo, Anton, God forgive me, but screw the church and the daycare. I need the cursing. The sermons will hit different when you curse, in my opinion. Them church folk will have done and heard much worse. They'll be okay. We concerned about the kids, though. We don't want the kids looking up and then they going back and they saying, F your feelings. Nah, Bob Brown, we gotta get that 30 million. You know what I'm saying? Goth Batty says, I'm a QA engineer. I see why your thumbnails are on point. Shout out to Goth Batty. I appreciate you. Shooting from the sky says, I ain't messing with my 401k pension health job to save nobody. That's a fact. I appreciate you. T-Dub 326 says, I'm not risking my family's financial future to help anyone out running with the wolves. My wife would be pissed at me for risking our money on court charges fighting for randoms. That's irresponsible. I agree. Absolutely. Shout out to y'all. Thank you to everybody that's supporting the platform. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Let me read one more super chat, and then we're going to get started with the show. Which is more important, peace of mind or money? Moved back from the United States from Colombia. Since I've been back, I've been making more money, but I don't feel at peace like I was in Colombia. Thoughts? All right, so let me tell you like this. For me, it's the money. The money is always more important. I can find my own happiness. Happiness is a state of being, right? It's relative. I'm going to find happiness in whatever it is that I'm doing. But the one thing that I can't replace is I can't replace the bag. I think that you need to do some soul searching. If it's based off of how you feel, then I think that you're starting to operate in your femininity, if I want to be frank. Whenever I see a person say how I feel like, that is something that they can solve for internally. But the one thing that you can't replace is you can't replace the bag. So if you asking me personally, then I think you need to do some soul searching and you need to find where it is that it makes you comfortable or add value into your life by networking more effectively around people that bring you peace. However, I just think that you may be a little bit biased based off of the fact that your experience has gave you a sense of tranquility there. But the bag for me is always more important. I want the bag. I can always move. I can always travel. I can always do what it is that I want to do. I can always go and visit Miami, but I don't want to live there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to go with the bag. I'm always going to go with the bag. You know what bring me peace? Dang, I can't even say that. That Gawk 3000. I just being like, don't worry, church folk. Don't worry, church folk. The kids don't even know what Gawk 3000 is. That's what bring me peace. My shoulders go down. My muscles relax. Shout out to the Explorer in the building. I appreciate you. Again, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me get into the show. All right. Let's get it popping. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. People are fed up. They're no longer depending on the federal government. They're no longer depending on legislators. They no longer depend. I see y'all in the chat. That's what gives me peace. They no longer are depending on the National Guard, Biden, the police station, the mayor. Shout out to the mayor of Chicago. Shout out to the mayor in San Francisco. They are no longer depending on any entity in order to make sure that they protect what's theirs. They said, you know what? We tired, boss. We's tired, boss. These criminals is walking in and they feeling more and more empowered every day. Listen, don't y'all know that criminals, I've seen videos where criminals don't even run no more. They pace. Miss Bree said, please. Okay, Miss Bree, I got you. I got you, Miss Bree. I stopped cussing. You got to give me a little bit of rope here, guys. Y'all got to give me a little bit of rope. Thank you, K. Oh, man, K. James. I love what you got going on over there, K. James. Thank you. Criminals is not even running no more. They don't even got a getaway car. They walking home now. They going to go in, bust your head open, walk into the place, get all of your jewelry, and then continue to pace on out. Because they already know. You ain't going to do nothing about it. What you going to do? But the people said, we's tired, boss. We's tired, boss. We're no longer going to subject ourselves to this criminal element that's happening in society. And we going to let the criminals take over our cities? Nah, not today. Let's get it popping, y'all.
4 guys dressed in hoodies, sweatpants, and ski masks carrying backpacks and hammers charge into Princess Bride Diamonds in Huntington Beach and attempt to smash cases and rob the store.
I just saw like one of the reflections in the glass.
But employees saw them coming.
There's a bunch of dudes with hoods on coming in.
And fought back.
I immediately kind of got up and just
Woo!
ran to the front of the store to try to help out.
Dallas Baca is seen punching and hitting one of the would-be thieves. Another employee also joins in punching.
Look at that woman.
I was just kind of stunned that it was happening. But then as soon as I saw them coming in and you're fighting, Lily's fighting, I also needed to get in there too.
Dallas's older sister Sarah grabs the closest thing she could find.
I was just looking for something big.
Look at them criminals. What kind of criminals y'all got running in there they can't even see? They put their hood over their face. They masks is turned sideways. They don't know which one is left. They don't know which one is right. They said the people are tired. The people are exhausted. They put everything that they had into this business. They haven't even made sales this month in order to pay their rent for the location that they at. They mama and they dad is tired. They've been working this store for their whole life. Everything that they have is tied up into this business, the possibility of retirement, so on and so forth. They invested in their inventory, and you just going to walk in, smash the glass, and think that that's going to be the end of the conversation? Listen, if you corner a dog, I mean the most docile dog, if you corner an animal, eventually it's going to bite you. If you corner an animal, eventually it's going to bite you. People are tired of what it is that they're having to subject themselves to inside of their own businesses, their own homes, their own cities, and their own streets.
Hit them with, and the stool was right there, so I just ran up, grabbed the stool, and then I hit the guy over the head.
Hey, my man's had mad squabbles though on the low. Homie had mad squabbles out there on the low. He had hands.
With the stool.
He had mad feet too. Look at this.
The 4 men, likely not expecting a fight, retreat. And Sarah and Dallas say they left empty-handed.
So far, we don't think that they've taken anything.
The jewelry store is family-owned. Sarah and Dallas's parents opened it in 2006. They say nothing like this has ever happened before, but after seeing the many smash-and-grab robberies in the news, they knew it was a possibility.
I think people do have to be aware of what's going on and do the best that they can to protect themselves.
Sarah and Dallas say they both just reacted.
He got mad squabbles, yo. Mad squabbles. People are tired. So these guys are actually pretty lucky. They pretty lucky. They pretty lucky it wasn't a pistol behind the wall in order for these people to be able to address them.
Thankful no one was seriously injured and hopes their actions sends a message to anyone who is thinking of committing this type of crime.
They feel like they can get away with it, but I'm really happy that we were able to stop them and stop that from happening today.
I'm wondering, here's my question. Here's my question as we navigate through this and we better understand what's going on. Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to be reading that shortly. Here's my question, right? What is that conversation like on a ride home or when you get back to the hood? When you get back to the spot, because they planned this, they all went and got their gear. They all went and got their Nike hoodies. They got their masks. They ordered it from Amazon or they went and got it from the gas station. They put their gloves on and everything like that. Shout out to Self-Made Forever. They all went and they planned this out. And they went and located the store and they said, we're going to come up on some jewelry. We're going to go to Princess Diamonds. We're going to come up on this jewelry. We know that they've been open since 2006. But we're going to address the situation and we're going to come up and we're going to sell the stuff online or we're going to sell it in the hood. And then once they got beat up, especially the little one with the gloves on that got kicked by the women, when they got beat up and my man had mad squabbles, what is that conversation like on the way home? Do you then be like, you know what? Crime ain't really for me. If I would have got beat up by two women and a guy with mad squabbles and it's four of us, I'm going to retire. I'm going to take that as a sign that God was trying to show me something. God is trying to tell you something. And it's time to retire from criminal activity. You not cut out for it. This is not your lane, fam. I mean, what do you tell your homeboy? Hey, fam, why you ain't get her? Hey, fam, you seen her go and pick up that chair. You seen her kicking me. Why you ain't get her, fam? What is that conversation like? Hey, man, you know what? I'm out. I would have been like Trey from Boys in the Hood. Hey, Doughboy, let me out the car, man. I wouldn't even have drove all the way home with him. I would have walked home. I would have had to reassess my life to better understand why I'm in here trying to rob Princess Diamonds and why it's not conducive for me to continue to hang out with this group of people that can't even have my back. Real talk. I'm going to assess my life choices at that point. I got to make some adjustments in my life because this is not good for me.
Caught on camera, visitors and businesses joining together to stop a suspected shoplifter in Scottsdale.
Most beautiful story here is that everybody got united. People, they knew us or they didn't know us, they were there for us.
Look how old these people are, man. Look how old these people are, bro. Come on, man. Y'all robbing the senior citizens, the people that's in the community, the people that pay the taxes, the people that employ people. They just wanted to open up their own business. Come on, man. Why y'all got to go after the most vulnerable people and try to rob the people? And y'all think that it's cool to hit jewelry stores. That's because these rappers keep influencing y'all.
And they came to our rescue and our help. And they brought every piece back.
Ana Marina Solikai was getting ready to put up a display of jewelry at her shop, Marina Jewelers, when a man walked in and went straight to the display.
He knew exactly where the expensive product was. He just grabbed that case and started running.
Solikai ran after the man, later identified as 53-year-old Troy Bell.
Sir, you too old and your hairline is too crooked. First of all, you need to let it go. He got that Tory Lanez up there and he need to let it go. Tory Lanez is at the top. Listen, criminal activity, no bounds. They old, they young. They got dreads, they got crooked hairlines. They trying to hold on to it. They got beards. This is the same dude that cut his hair, went and got him a toupee at the top, went and got him a hairpiece, and now y'all talking about he's zaddy. This is the type of man that will fool you into believing. This is why I won't let the gray girl in. Tell Messy Mathematician that this is why I will not let the gray girl in. Because people like this is out here making it look bad for us. Look at that hairline. Look at the hairline. Look how crooked it is. Do we need to expand our criminal profiling abilities, ladies and gentlemen? Do we need to expand our criminal profiling abilities because clearly, look at this man in here going for the expensive jewelry and getting manhandled by the citizens. Shout out to the citizens. Let me give a round of applause for the citizens. And you know how I know? You know how I know? He know that his hairline, because you look in the mirror before you go out. You look in the mirror before you go out, okay? You know how I know his hairline? He knew that his hairline is crooked because he gonna try to take the picture like this from the side. Like we wasn't gonna be able to line it up and realize that the hairline is still crooked. Yo, listen, if your hairline is messed up, let it go, fam. Don't keep taking your picture like this. Don't keep taking your picture like this from the side thinking that we not gonna know that you gonna straighten out your hairline on the picture, but we not gonna see the angle that you holding your head at. Fam, we still know that your hairline is crooked. Stop brushing it to the front and then brushing it to the back, trying to make it seem like you got extra hair. You don't. I know what's really happening out here in these streets. His beard look cool. That hair gotta go. And he out here being an old criminal. See, I'm really modifying my language right now because I'm doing it for the people that want to put the video on in the daycare and the church. Shout out to the people in the daycare and the church. We got over 1,800 people in here and climbing, and everybody ain't hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, for the Facebook algorithm right now. Let's continue.
And I started screaming and shouting to everybody outside, to all my neighbors, please to stop him. He's a thief.
To her surprise, people and neighboring businesses rushed to stop Belle. She says the items taken range from $10,000 to $55,000. And it wasn't long after until police arrested the suspected shoplifter.
During that confrontation, that jewelry got scattered everywhere. Some of it landing in the bushes, others here on the sidewalk, some even making it out on the street. So the community banded together once again to find all those missing items and brought them back to the shop.
Strangers. They picked up all these diamond pieces, expensive diamond pieces. They all returned to my store. They all gave me back all my product. And
what have I been saying for the past, I don't know how long? What have I been saying for the past? Listen, if you look at all of these people that came to their rescue, hold on, look, check it out. Let's see if we can find that scene before this man ended up in the bushes. If you look at all of those people, if you zoom in, thank you, Jeremy Davis. We got the best morning show on earth. If you look at all of those people and you zoom in, what do you see? I hate to bring this up. I hate to be absolutely honest. If you zoom in on your phone or you zoom in on the TV and you look closely, what do you see? You see all people in this community that don't necessarily look like us taking control of what it is that they see happening to a fellow business owner. For the longest, ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying we all know who the culprits are inside of our community that is doing all of the wrong. They don't even hide anymore. They got TikToks. They're going to be on Instagram in order to floss. They're going to show you the scammer money, and then they're going to say, we got this from scamming. They're going to tell you how they do it. They don't even hide. They park on their mama lawn. They get a good night rest, or they get a good day's rest, and then they hit the streets at night and they start to prowl and they start to look for cars that they can rob in. We all know where the chop shops are. We all know who the drug dealers are. We all know who the robbers are. We all know who the killers are. We all know who the dudes that like to drive up to the high schools and plot against the little girls that's under the age of 15 are. We all know who the monsters are. We all know who the women beaters are. We all know who the cheaters are. We all know that you shouldn't be going with that guy and opening up your legs to him because you already know that he no good and that he's already shown you that he's no good because all of your homegirls told you that they slept with him and he's no good, but you still gonna open up your legs to him anyway. We all know what's happening inside of our communities, but we are the only community that refuse to address it. Why? Why? Shout out to my people, Local 600 over there in Dearborn. I salute y'all. I used to be Local 600 myself. Why? These people, all she had to do was The same way that they did it on the riverboat down there in Montgomery, Alabama, and the dude threw his hat up, and y'all want to get up there and scrap. But when it comes to making sure that y'all protect y'all communities, when it comes to your kids being able to walk down the street, the drugs that's happening in your communities, the people that's robbing your stores, making it a food desert, you ain't got nothing to say. You ain't got nothing to say. All she had to do was say, hey, this man is stealing all of our stuff. They was like, what? She threw her proverbial hat up, her figurative hat up, and they all went and stopped this man. And not only did they stop him, they went and looked in the bushes for all of the jewelry that then came out when they was holding him down and kicking his butt, held him for the police to come. And then they all returned the jewelry back to her, and they said, listen, you safe in this community. We don't care what the laws are saying. We don't care what the governor is doing. We taking this into our own hands. At what point do we start to take back control of our neighborhoods, our homes, our property values, our communities, and stop waiting for somebody to come over there and save you? How many people are you going to blame instead of taking control of your own neighborhood? I remember when them neighborhood watch signs used to mean something in the neighborhood. They don't anymore. All the neighborhood watch signs is they watching out for the police just in case the raid van pull up so they can move the product over into another crib. They got the lookout. Your son is a lookout boy. Your son is riding around on his bike and he being a lookout boy just to make sure that they pay attention to the robbers, the scammers, and the people and the police and the raid van that may come up so that they can make some adjustments. Don't you know that they setting your son up? Your son is hanging with the bigger boys and the bigger crew and you think that he's safe because you a single mom and you ain't got no father for your child and you refuse to get back with your baby daddy and you opened up your legs to the wrong man in the first place. Let me tell you how they grooming your son. They grooming him to be a thug. You know how they grooming him to be a thug? Because the mid-level dealer is going to collect the money, right? They going to make sure that they talk to the person and then they're going to send him around the block or around the crib in order to be able to get the product. You know who going to hand them the product? Your son. Because they don't want to touch the drugs, but they know that your son ain't got nothing to lose and he just want to be down anyway and he making pennies anyway. And they just going to give him a little bit to break him off to make him feel like he a part of the crew. When the police is surveilling or when they doing hand to hands and they trying to get up and work their way up to the mid-level and then to the higher dealers and then ultimately to the plug, your son gonna be the first person that's at the forefront of that movement. And what's gonna happen is they're gonna teach him how to not snitch. So now he gonna get some football numbers, or he automatically gonna get a drug case, or he gonna get a felony on his record because they waited till he handed enough drugs over to the wrong person in order to be able to hit him with some numbers. So now if he snitch, he's considered a snitch for the rest of his life, and they got him on surveillance camera in there talking with some soda, and he asked for a corned beef sandwich, and he on the first 48. If he don't snitch, then he gonna be sitting in jail in order to be a real N-word to make sure that he keep it real for the homies. That's what they doing with your son while you at work because you decided that you wanted to do the wrong thing and align yourself with the wrong people. They grooming your son to be a prisoner. And he gonna be making my license plates, and then you gonna be telling me that it's systematic racism when in reality it was a choice. It was a choice. It's straight up a choice. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? At what point are we going to take control of our own environments, our own neighborhoods, and stop putting our children and the ones that come after us under duress based off of the fact that we know who the problem is, we know where the problems are, but we refuse to address it and enable the people that even is trying to work in our own interests and our own behalf of what's going on. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let me read a couple of these super chats and then we're going to get it popping. We got a full show for y'all today. Yeah, it's Tuesday. We back in the mix. Self-Made Forever says, so let me get this straight. Fresh and Fit and Bossman AD are having a cutback on their content on YouTube, but Cynthia G can still say delete black male babies and black men are bullet bags. I got to make the adjustment. I can't wait for YouTube to look out for me. I got to make the adjustment. I got to make sure that we doing things and we kosher We still getting the message out. We still taking care of business. We still trending towards our 30 million. And we got to be able to, I can't compare myself to what everybody else is doing. I got to focus on doing what it is that I'm doing. Thank you for that 10 ball. You know why? Because men don't make excuses. We make adjustments. Men don't make excuses. We make adjustments. Shout out to Casual Germ. Casual Germ says, if the "yeah, I did it" was a face, that's a fact. Get that black man a barber and get him some handcuffs. Money Mix says, the more you F around, the more you find out. You see how that influence is? Now everybody is making abbreviations because we want to lead with the thing that we want to do best. When I hear y'all give me feedback and I interact with the chat on a daily basis, I make adjustments. I hear y'all. I love what y'all got going on. Shout out to Money Mix. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's talk about the money. Let's get into the money, y'all. I want to talk about these car prices. I want to see what people are saying about the car prices. And I want to deep dive into it. Midas the Stallion, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Thank you, my friend, and then everybody that contributes into the platform. Let's get it popping. Car prices is out of control. People are still complaining.
I'm tripping, y'all, for real. I haven't looked at buying a new vehicle in a while. And in that while, these car dealerships have inflated these prices on these new vehicles astronomically. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. And let me know in the comments what your state and your city is doing with their car prices. I'm in South Carolina. Look at this truck. Dodge Ram, Laramie 4x4. Beautiful truck, beautiful color. Got some fancy wheels on it, step rails, no bed cover, cloth seats, no leather. Cloth seats, y'all. But like I'm showing y'all, this is a beautiful truck. It really is. I love the color. I bet y'all can't guess the price on this though. But look at it though. This like a regular pickup truck. Nothing real fancy. Just got a, like I say, a pretty paint job. But this truck is $75,000.
$75,000 for a Dodge Ram that got black wheels and burgundy paint. $75,000 for black wheels and burgundy paint. But guess what? It's not the dealers. It's not the dealers. I know y'all think it's the dealerships, but it's not the dealers. It's not. And you know what the interesting thing is about it? The prices are not going to go down. You know why? Because they are going to finance you and they're going to convince you to buy that truck based off of what the payment is going to be and not based off of how much the actual MSRP is. The manufacturer's suggested retail price. The manufacturer's suggested retail price. Okay, so, well, Anton, if it's not the dealers, then who is it? When you see these workers, and I've been having these conversations about the UAW striking, and they say, listen, we want more money. We want 32-hour work weeks. We want to make sure that we get more benefits. We want to elevate the level of living that we have. We want to do all of this other type of stuff, right? Logistics, semiconductor chip shortages, having a partner with R&D. They need software engineers now instead of people that's sitting on the line, plugging it in and going, no. Now, it costs you more to be able to develop, manufacture, and then put together a vehicle in the United States of America because the cost of doing business is exponentially more and people are advocating for more. So what do you think happens? They pass that cost over into the customer. You are the ones that are going to pay for these workers' raises. Now, I'm not saying that the workers don't deserve raises, but I'm saying that you got to pick one. Which one you want? You got to pick one. There's more costs in order to be able to get these parts together. There's more costs in order to have the workers do it. There's more costs when it comes to marketing. The costs are higher when it comes to semiconductor chips. NVIDIA, their stock is booming. Google, booming. Apple, booming. When you get that Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that matters. When you have those that new navigation systems, those new screens, new buttons and everything, right? You want to get the high step on it, 4x4, it costs now. People want more money or they want to make more money in order to do business or have a service, and you can't just be able to get it because listen, the true cost of a vehicle is not how much it costs them to be able to manufacture it. It's the plant that they had to retrofit and spend $3 billion in order to be able to even manufacture this thing in the first place. It's the suppliers that now are demanding more money in order to put together certain things, right? It's the research and development that is taken in order to transition over into hydrogen and electric vehicles, because they got to fund that, because they're not necessarily profitable on that end because they haven't really ramped up that, right? It's the negotiating and making sure that they pay for your benefits, your pensions, and all of this other type of stuff, right? So when you buy these vehicles, the same way when you go into a restaurant and you buy a piece of chicken, you're not just buying the chicken for what it costs for them to manufacture it and then buy it for one, sell it for two. You're paying for the employees, the insurance, you're paying for the negotiations, you're paying for the rent, you're paying for benefits, you're paying for higher wages. The cost of that piece of chicken per chicken is absolutely positively baked into the final price of what it's going to cost you in order to have that meal.
75. When did pickup trucks become this expensive?
Well, what you have to do, sir, is you got to go and get you a Dodge Dakota, or you can go and get you a Ford Ranger, right? Or you can get you a Toyota Tacoma. See, they don't want to lower their lifestyle. They just want to complain about the thing that they can't afford. They don't want to lower their life. Listen, you don't need a pickup truck unless you don't need a big Dodge Ram unless you want to be out here stunting. Most of y'all are not doing Dodge Ram work. You don't want to go get a Ford Ranger. You don't want to go and get you a Toyota Corolla. You don't want to get you the thing that's going to get you to and from. No, you want that Ram. And I guarantee you, this man that's complaining about it right now is still going to probably do something to go and get that truck. You know why? That's why he's out there at that dealership lot in order to go and see it. He ain't complaining because he ain't trying to get the truck. He complaining because of what it is that he going to wind up paying in order to get it.
And nothing against Dodge owners. But I'm just like, bruh, a pickup truck, $75,000. These Mercedes prices, you know what I'm saying? BMW prices, luxury car, luxury SUV prices. Like I said, nothing against Dodge or Dodge owners, but it's just a Dodge Ram. No leather, cloth seats, like I say, fancy wheels, some step rails, okay. But this truck is $75,000.
Pony up. Pony up. They got rid of smaller cars. Ford, Chrysler, and GM. They said that we don't want to sell smaller cars no more because they're not profitable and people don't want them. They want bigger. Everybody said bigger is better. The guys said bigger is better when it comes to the cars. The women said bigger is better when it came to open up the... Never mind. I know that this is a morning show. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. I know y'all at work. Let's get to it.
Maybe I need to get my money up.
Yep.
But I really think this is ridiculous. Let me know in the comments what y'all feeling in y'all state, in y'all city.
Hell yeah, man. Congratulations. That's amazing. Hell yeah. This has to be one of the craziest dealer markups I've seen in recent history. This dealer is asking for $215,000 on a pre-owned 2023 Cadillac Escalade.
What? $215,000 for a pre-owned? Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
V-Series. But as you can see, this car is practically brand new with only 139 miles on it. Okay.
I don't care. I don't care if it's a V-Series, C-Series, D-Series, or E-Series. Ain't no way on God's green earth that I'm going to pay $215,000 for a Escalade V-Series. Is nothing that you can do to market it to me that's absolutely going to tell me that I need to get a V-Series. No. Listen, I'm tired. It's tight out here for me. I'm going to keep it 100. It's tight out here for me. No way.
Back to the price, the dealer wants nearly $215,000. But when we look at the window sticker, the MSRP on the car is just over $155,000. Now, I get that the Escalade V is highly desirable, but a markup of $60,000 on a pre-owned Escalade V?
$150,000 is too much. That's too much for an Escalade. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't care how on point it is, J. Ben. It's no way I'm paying $215,000. Dealer markup an additional $665,000.
Come on, guys.
The used car market is completely crazy in May of 2023. Let's break it down, but with a quick disclaimer first. We're just the messenger. Hate these prices more than you do, I promise. So what should you do? Should you buy? Let's start with the 26-year graph showing the relative price increase.
I don't want to hear his math, and his voice is too low. We got to go over to the next person. Let's see what they're complaining about.
Backstory, I did have a car. I actually had a very nice car. I had a 2018 Honda Civic. It was very scrumptious. It literally got the job done, and it was just a nice car in general. My parents leased it for me, and then when the lease term was up, they said, hey, Serena, do you want to buy the car? At the time, I was working in New York City, so I didn't need a car, so like a fucking idiot, I said, no, Mom, I don't want to buy the car. Looking back on that, I should have fucking slapped myself because I should have purchased that car. That would have been like a great solution to my problems. Anyway, I didn't buy the car. They sold the car. Great, wonderful, whatever. And now I don't have a car. I haven't had a car for at least 8 months now. I have tried time and time again to buy a car, and it's been an absolute catastrophe disaster every single time. My most recent experience was a few days ago when I went to the Nissan dealership. Now, I know you're saying, Serena, why would you buy a Nissan? I don't want a Nissan. Honestly, the only reason I was looking at Nissan is because Nissans are the cheapest car on the market right now. So I go to the Nissan dealership, and I find a fucking Sentra. It's 2023. Literally the base model. The only upgrade it has is the interior. So I'm looking at this car. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. It's good.
The only upgrade it got is this interior. That's the whole upgrade. But let's continue.
Enough for me. It's 25.
Hey, shout out to all of the ladies out here driving Altimas. Shout out to my Altima ladies. Yeah. Shout out to my Altima ladies in the building.
$1,000. Now, $25,000 in my fucking mind for a Nissan is pushing it. You're fucking pushing it, okay? I sit down anyway, and magically, as soon as we sit at the table, it goes from $25,000 to $29,000. And I'm looking at the salesman, I was like, sir, I totally understand, like, the registration fees and the doc fees, but I need a cost breakdown because the sticker price literally jumped like $4,000 in the matter of...
Let's see, taxes, registration, insurance, it's a bunch of plates. I'm assuming that taxes is in that also. I'm assuming that taxes is in that also.
Seconds. He's like, well, we don't give out the cost breakdown sheet. And I was like, if you can't give me a cost breakdown, I'm not interested in the car at all. So he leaves, he comes back, 10 minutes later, he magically has the cost breakdown. Me and my brother sit and we're looking through the sheet and we're going through. And when I tell you there was shit listed that I don't even know how you could charge for because it's not there, it's not in the car, my brother goes, hey, there's $300 listed here for window tint, but I didn't see any tinted windows in the car. This is the inside of the car. Do y'all see any tinted windows? Because I don't. So my
No. Hold on. That interior is pretty nice. She said the only upgrade. Yo, you got quilted leather seats. Come on, fam. She said she got the base model. That's not the base model. That's not the base model. You wanted to get the one with the saucy interior in it. Listen, if you can get a brand new, spanking new car for 25 bands, that's a deal. That's a deal. That's a deal. You can't have the quilted leather seats and all of this other type of stuff and then tell me that you didn't get any upgrades on the car. Come on. Please don't sauce up my story. Just give it to me exactly how it is that you got it. All right?
Do y'all see any tinted windows? Because I don't. So my brother is like, okay, well, that's giving very much suspicious. So me and him are like looking across the table like, bro, we got to get the fuck out of here. But then I was like, just out of curiosity, can you run me the numbers? This man leaves, comes back after 10 fucking minutes, probably sitting in the corner, like doing like this, because I don't know what type of math he did. He comes back and he goes, yeah, you're looking at $485 a month. $485 a month? For $485 a month, I should be fucking driving a Mercedes. I should be fucking pulling up.
Are these people completely removed from reality? What Mercedes you got for $485 a month? I know how much my S-Class costs. I know how much, and I paid the dealer markup and everything like that. Y'all was right here for the Millionaire Morning Show when I got the phone call, and he was like, hey, Anton, your car's in. I want you to come and pick it up. Went and picked up the Mercedes. I paid $100 and $140,000 for my S-Class or something like that. 135, 140. I don't know. It might have been 150. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I paid, a grip for my S-Class. I don't know what kind of car that she's gonna be driving in that's 485 for a Mercedes. This is a privileged woman whose parents used to be taking care of her, paying for her car note, leased her car for her, and so for the past 8 months she hasn't even had a car or a car note.
In a Range Rover. I was besides myself. I'm like, sir, are you joking? Are you kidding? He's like, well, if you could put a little bit more money down. So I'm just at this point, I'm like doing.
And also, you got to take into consideration the interest rate, whether you buying, whether you leasing. So all of those factors go into it. How good her credit is. Maybe her credit is a POS. Listen, 485, you're not getting into a Mercedes for 40. I don't know where any Mercedes is for 485. Do y'all know where any brand new Mercedes are for 485? I'm just curious. Whenever you find a Mercedes for 485, let me know so I can understand what the interest rate is. If it's 0% interest, if it's a loaner car, was it a demo car? What the heck is going on out here in these cities?
Shits and giggles. I was like, what about $15,000 down? Do I have $15,000? No. When I tell you every fucking fiber of my being wanted to slap this man, I was really trying. I was really trying to be a good Samaritan, okay?
Winder Kelsey of Mississauga has a 2020 Toyota Tundra pickup truck. He recently got a letter from his insurance company saying he must install an anti-theft tracking device by the end of the month.
I was looking at the letter and I was pretty shocked.
The notice from TD Insurance said, without a tag anti-theft tracking system installed in your vehicle, you can expect a significant premium increase as of your renewal. We'll cover the cost of installation up to $400 plus tax. Kelsey says he was told to pay for the device up front and he would be reimbursed.
My renewal will be pretty much higher if I don't install these tags.
I don't really understand what the problem is. Listen, when you sign up for insurance, if you go to Progressive, you go to TD Insurance, or whatever it is that y'all want to do, right? When you go to these places, they ask you all of these questions and details. Do you have an anti-theft device? Is it a tracking device on it, right? Do you have any accidents over the past however many years? Do you have any dependents in your household that's under the age of 24? Are you married? All of this stuff, right? When you answer these questions, they've automated it to make it easier for you to be able to access and get the insurance on your vehicle. But if you do not answer these questions truthfully, you will literally mess up the insurance policy and they can void out if you get into an accident or you get your car stolen because they could say that you weren't answering truthfully, right? So they're saying that they want to reimburse you for installing it so that they are not at risk for losing the vehicle if it gets stolen and then they have to pay out a premium for the insurance policy. Hey, we'll pay for you to do it. We'll reimburse you to do it. Make sure that you put this anti-theft tracking device on your vehicle or anti-theft tracking device on your vehicle. I'm not really sure what the problem is. Am I missing something?
So that's kind of a holding hostage to consumers that if you guys don't do this.
What's a good name? What's a name that guys that usually wear a turban and a beard? What's the name for the people that wear a turban and a beards? Somebody in the chat tell me what's the name for the people that wear turban and beards? What is a good name, right? For black people, you can say, oh man, his name is Anton, whatever. Actually, my name is Russian. But for black people, they can say, oh, his name is Kiwan, right? For Arabic people, you can say his name is Ahmed. For Asian people, you can say his name is Jingpao. What is the name for the people with, is it Muhammad, Apu, Sikh, Abdullah, Ahmed, Muhammad, Akbar, Sheikh? Okay, so we're going to go with Hadid. Shout out to Hadid out here complaining and running in the Victim Olympics.
We will increase your premium.
It's not just TD asking its customers to install these tracking devices. Other insurance companies like Aviva, Intact, and Desjardins also want their customers with high-risk vehicles to use the anti-theft system.
The stuff that y'all want to participate in the chat is out of control. Anwar is a black man's name. I've seen a lot of Anwars out here in these streets. I seen a lot of Anwars out here in these streets. Anwar is a black man's name. Black man took over Anwar. Y'all can leave Anwar out of it. All right, go ahead.
The tag system is widely used in Quebec and has helped reduce auto theft there.
The only reason why the thieves have moved
Somebody said a lot
is because the majority.
Who said Aladdin? Oh my God. Who said Aladdin? Y'all are wild, bro. Y'all are wild. Hold on, let me see something. Aladdin don't even got on no freaking oh yeah, he do. Well, it depends. When Aladdin was poor, this is what he looked like. This is the Aladdin that was poor. Shout out to Pharma DA. I'm gonna read that super chat shortly. And then this is when Aladdin got rich. You know what I'm saying? Aladdin started getting to that bag. He started talking to Princess Jasmine, and he started riding around on that magic carpet. Then he got him you know what I'm saying? He got him a new hat. Shout out to Aladdin. So Aladdin over here, that's a good name. I'm going to take Aladdin. So Aladdin is over here complaining about the fact that he got to put a tracking device on his truck in order to make sure that it's not stolen. Stop complaining. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Aladdin.
Of the vehicles that the thieves want are protected by the tag system in Quebec.
With the tag system, there is wireless tracking and recovery, no signal jamming, logos, or an instant theft deterrent. There is quick and efficient tracking and a proven recovery rate. As an example, the company says in the last 24 hours, 15 vehicles in the GTA have been stolen that have the tag tracking system.
Out of the 15, I think 12 have already been recovered, and the other 3 were waiting on the police to come, and the cars are going to be all recovered.
Kelsey still has concerns, but says he will likely get the tag system.
There you gonna get it.
He doesn't want his insurance premiums to go up.
I might as well get it installed because I don't see any other option.
They said that they was gonna reimburse you. Hey, listen. Maybe we need to go back to walking. Maybe we need to go back to walking. What do y'all think about that? Maybe we need to move into a place that then allows for us to be able to use. Have we gotten too spoiled to where we have more expectations than we should? Do we now look at a car as a right? Do we now finance our lives away based off of the thing that's not best for us? Maybe we need to start using public transportation and walking. Shout out to Van Gogh.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
You'll be back soon.
Oh, no. We don't do music here, sir.
TikTok people that are going to sit there and tell you the used car prices fell 0.00001%. Who fucking cares? I don't give a shit. When I bring vehicles on here, this is wholesale market. Okay? This is the auction site. Tax time's rolling around, so people are looking for fucking cash vehicles. This right here gives you insight as to why cash vehicles are becoming fucking extinct. And these $3,000, $3,500 things, you can't buy nothing anymore for that shit. You're gonna have the winners on fucking TikTok like the hell I can. I bought me a fucking 2015 Charger for fucking $300. Cool. This 04 Mazda with 169. All right. Bids at $3,400. Jeff Haas Mazda wants $4,000. Is it worth $4,000? Fuck no, it's not. But so let's say Jeff Haas Mazda is nice enough to let it go at $3,500. You have buyer fee, transportation, and then you have recon. When you go into a lot, I know y'all like this 04 Mazda, this should be $2,000 to $3,000. Remember this, your opinion on what a price should be on a vehicle does not matter, because at the end of the day, that dealership is going to get whatever the fuck they want for that vehicle. I'm not talking about some new shit like, I'm not talking about no 2019, 2018. I'm talking about the used car market. I'm talking about that older shit. You may not buy it, but somebody else will.
I don't really see what the complaint is. I don't really see what I was saying the same thing. I was like, is this a man talking to me right now? It's a little bit, what's going on? Shout out to my dog, Farmer DA. So I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Shout out to Nailnet. Nailnet with the loans. Listen, you're not going to get a car for $2,000, $3,000. Get you a hoopty. Just get you a hoopty. It is what it is. Either get you a hoopty or walk. The market is what it is. It's going to demand what it wants for whatever it is that it wants. All this is telling me is that either I'm extremely out of touch with the reality of what's going on out here, or I will be willing to pay $3,000, $3,500 for a car to be able to get me to and from where I need to go to, and I ain't got no car note. I ain't got to worry about nothing that go along with that. I don't know. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get it popping. We're going to continue on with the show because we got a few other things that we need to tackle before we move on. First and foremost, let me make sure that I highlight my dog, Midas the Stallion. Midas the Stallion, not Meg the Stallion, Midas the Stallion. With the 30 ball. Showing love from the Buckley Space Force Base. Shout outs to UAD. Hey, throw me on the major screen out there. Shout out to my dog Midas the Stallion, the white horse. With the 30 ball. Shout out to the Buckley Space Force Base. Yo, did y'all know that they had a Space Force? I bet y'all didn't even know that they had a Space Force. Yeah, Space Wars out here, boy. You didn't know. First time that you ever heard about it was when Trump said it. Now we got a Space Force out here in these streets. And shout out to Midas that's over here navigating through the Space Force. We rock with you, fam. Hey, Mecca D. Ebor. Mecca D. Ebor is in the building, says, oh, man, y'all out here throwing the bag at me. Y'all throwing the bag at me like I'm a stripper out here in these streets. Said, what up, though? What up to my Detroit brethren? That's how Detroit people greet each other. We got over 2,100 people in here and climbing, and we got a shortage of likes out here in these streets. Can y'all get the likes up, please? What are we doing? Zoe, it's okay, Zoe. Everything is improv over here. Can we get the likes up, Mecca, would you tell them to get the likes up? We got over 2,100 people in here and climbing, and we ain't got the likes up. What is going on? Says, what up, though? Appreciate you for putting the city on the map. Shout out to Detroit in the building. The right way, showing the world how we really cut out here. See, you know what's so funny, Mecca? I agree with this. Because everybody want me to be out here and be street. They want me to be talking about how thug we are over here in the D9. Detroit have some intellectuals. We have some intelligent people. We have some professionals. We have people that know how to speak proper English. We have educated people here. And the city is absolutely awesome. And so nobody, no content creator, I ain't talking about no rapper. I ain't talking about nobody that's saying that they from the city, but they was actually born in Southfield. They from Pontiac. They from West Bloomfield and all of that. Listen, no shade to any of those people. I love all of my Metro Detroit people, but it's nobody that is putting on for Detroit like Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Shout out to my dog Mecca. I appreciate you, big dog. Marcus Hill is in the building, said, what up, Time Dog? Sent you an email on September 1st inquiring about booking a coaching session. Also, I will be rejoining the Patreon state. Wow. If y'all are not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. It is a must-have. Even the people that made an adjustment and said, you know what? I got to get back with the bag chasers because I'm missing out. Shout out to my dog, Marcus Hill. I see you, big dog. I got your emails. We going over all of those emails from the holiday. We kicking it. We doing what we doing. My dog, Omni, is in the building. Says 215 racks for a pre-owned. I'm in the bind, Nate. Listen, you know, Omni, all we got to do is get Unlike Lee. We just got to get Unlike Lee to go and do that work for us. We all getting the Escalade V, 215 and more. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dog, Unlike Lee. We rock with you, big dog. If y'all not a part of Fight Club over the weekend, you missed out. But don't worry, it'll be clipped up soon. Shout out to my dog, Omni. Cliff Williams in the building with a couple of super chats. Says, fam, she complaining while doing her makeup. We can't take her seriously. I agree. Also says, she really wanted to slap that man. That's how you catch a brick. 8 Mile and Greenlawn. Severe Stokes is in the building. Chippewa and Norfolk, 2 blocks away from 8 Mile, in between 7 Mile and 8 Mile. Used to walk over to Hampton Elementary School, all the way down past Livernois, or you could have went over to Pasture. And then if you was in middle school, you went up to Bobian. And then shout out to all of my Mumford Mustangs out here in the building. Shout out to the Persian Doughboy. Shout out to Henry Ford. Shout out to King, even though y'all Cast Tech enemies out here in the building. Shout out to all of my Detroit brethren. Shout out to everybody that's in the building from Detroit. I love my city. I love my city. Shout out to Cliff. I appreciate you, big dog. Darren Walker says, it would have to be 29,000 or 60 months, 0% April. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Darren Walker. My dog, Farmer DA's. I ain't seen Farmer DA's camp up in a while. Shout out to Retford. Says, seems like it's fair on the insurance part, but y'all can move here to VA where you don't need car insurance to drive. Really? You don't need car insurance to drive over in VA? Pharma. I didn't know that. So how do y'all deal with accidents and stuff like that? Interesting. Pharma says, had to sell my Camaro SS. Nailnet said they want their student loan payment on the first. Go get that bag. Pharma, I know you making a whole lot of money though, so you ain't gonna fool me. You not gonna fool me. I know you still driving that Camaro SS. Vaughn with the fireball. I appreciate you, Vaughn. Thank you, my friend, for continuing to rock with us. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's continue over with the next thing. Evictions. Did y'all know that evictions are on the rise? Evictions are on the rise. Shout out to my Sconies. If you know, you know. Shout out to Sconey Island. All of my 8 miles. Shout out to my 7 miles. 6 Mile. A lot of people don't even know that it ain't no 6 Mile. It's really called McNichols. Shout out to Finkel. Shout out to Puritan Ave. Shout out to my Gratiot people. Shout out to everybody that was living in the good neighborhoods on Otter Drive, West Side. Yeah. Shout out to Mack Avenue. Yeah. Mac Nichols in the building. Rent is due. Make sure that y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Tap into the Patreon. Let's get it, y'all.
Americans can't pay the rent. The evictions are surging, and this is a sign that the economy in 2023 is hanging on by a thread. And the Federal Reserve, they better be careful because they're hiking interest rates into a very precarious environment right now. According to Bloomberg, the number of families who are behind on rent, skipping meals, and are having their utilities shut off is surging. And we're seeing more and more stress occur for low-income families in the U.S. economy, especially when we're seeing the number of job openings in America plummet. This is new data that was just announced by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The number of job openings in America crashed.
Dwayne Whitfield, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. I appreciate you, big dog. Let's continue.
8.8 million in July. Now, this is still above the pre-pandemic level of around 7.3 million, but it's down 22% year over year. And it shows that employers in America, they are starting to cut back on hiring, and very soon they're going to start to increase firing.
You know what I've read? I read early this morning because I was looking at the jobs report and things like that. Shout out to Rich. You're not late. You just fashionably on time. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to make an interest. I got you. I'm gonna read those super chats shortly. You know what I read? Actually, I've read this morning when I woke up at 5 o'clock in this morning. So I went to bed at 2 a.m. and then got back up at 5 a.m. because we did the live stream late last night. And I was reading and I said, this is an interesting article. And they said specifically that jobs are now not necessarily firing or laying people off. Now they're reassigning you and they're giving you different titles in order to deal with the attrition. They're no longer hiring people. They're just redirecting where it is that they want people to be within an organization. It's called quiet firing, apparently. I have never heard of this term. First time that I've ever read about it is here, this morning. It's called quiet firing. And so basically what they're doing is two things. When people leave for whatever reason, whether they retire, whether they get another job, whatever, they get fired. Shout out to my dog, Black Man Unfiltered. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. When people leave, what happens is instead of replacing that person or finding another job for them, they then start to reorganize in which they're starting to divide the workload amongst the people so that you can then do more with less in order to cut costs. And then they can, in their mind, they're calling it increasing efficiencies. They're calling it increasing efficiency. So it's a possibility that you may have come in under one particular role, but then they're also asking you to do something a little bit different based off of what the needs of the company are. Hello? Hello? I'm sorry, who is this? I'm sorry, you calling with who? You have the wrong. I think you got the wrong number. Anyways, I take all my phone calls. When the money phone ring, we got to answer the money phone. But they're reassigning you, and you may have taken another position based off of the idea of increasing efficiency within the company, but it may not necessarily be the role that you're suited for, right? And so now we see people moving into different positions instead of companies continuing to maintain the increasing roles. Unemployment is now going up slightly, but it's not necessarily being based off of the fact that they're laying people off. It means that they're quietly firing people, or they're quietly not bringing in new positions or refilling the positions that now have vacancies. They're starting to spread out the workload a little bit differently. Shout out to Jay Ben. I'm going to read that super chat shortly.
Same time, these employers are starting to cut wages. A new survey from ZipRecruiter shows that nearly half of all employers have lowered the salaries year over year for the same open position. I'm starting to get really concerned that the Federal Reserve isn't really paying attention to all this. And in fact, I think the Fed might be almost trying to make this happen, because when you look at the fact that they're still likely to hike interest rates one more time this year, into this downturn, which is becoming so obvious, you got to start wondering, like,
could the Fed actually end up crashing the economy in their effort to tame inflation? Because when I look at the data right now, everyone, I'm seeing some very concerning
I want to move over into something.
CNBC, they just reported that the unemployment rate unexpectedly rose to 3.8% in August as the government revised down job counts in June and July.
So a lot of times what people don't pay attention to is when they look at this jobless data or the jobs report that comes out on a regular basis, it usually really comes out monthly, right? When they look at these jobs report, a lot of times the market reacts to it, but then they don't look at the revised numbers that come later based off of the fact that they get more data so that you can make a more informed decision of what the economy is looking like. And what it doesn't take into account, right, is people that's not necessarily looking for work, but is not employed either. And then on top of that, right, because some people may have fallen off of unemployment. The unemployment rose. I don't even know how y'all surviving off of unemployment. But also on top of that, what it also doesn't take into consideration, right, is the lower wages or the fact that people are underemployed. Underemployed, meaning that you're not even working the amount that you need to work, or you're not even making the amount that you need to make in order to really be able to survive. Right? When you combine all of that insight and that information along with the inflation, the fact that people can't survive ultimately in the places that they then live in order to really be able to maintain a regular lifestyle. Most people that live in New York, almost everybody I know that live in New York, they do not have one singular job. They do not have one job. They have a job and a hustle. They have two jobs and they got a roommate. I don't even know how y'all live in New York. Yo, I was looking at a video of somebody that was walking down the street in New York, and it was outside of a Wendy's. Y'all might have seen it. It's actually a pretty viral video, and it was just rats running down the street. It was literally just rats running down the street. I can't do it. I can't do it. Listen, I love New York. I wouldn't mind. I had seen a video of Madonna like a year ago or so, and she was having like a house gathering or she was doing something, and then a rat just ran through her apartment into a little cubby hole. And then I went and looked at the comments, and people was like, oh, that's just normal in New York. You just got to deal with rats. I said, I got to deal with what? I don't understand. How does New York have a rat problem that they can't solve? But Tokyo actually is a bigger city, has more people there, but it's clean as a whistle, and you can't find a rodent running around anywhere. You don't find no garbage on the street. You don't find no rodents nowhere. They actually have a bigger city with a larger population of people and more buildings, and you can't find a rodent to run around anywhere. Ain't no way that I'm going to just be walking around and living with a group of rodents that the city can't get a hold of. No, sir. No, sirree.
With the real unemployment rate, including discouraged workers, jumping to 7.1%. Businesses laying off workers and shutting down, that's probably going to this, where I am right now. This is going to be the type of neighborhood that feels this economic downturn first, this housing crash first, because in this zip code where I am right now, 26% of the population lives below the poverty line. So
how do you live in California and you live behind the poverty line? How do you live in California and survive below the poverty line? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I don't know how y'all surviving. Why would you stay in a state that you can't survive in financially? Did you see those houses? Man, listen, when I was driving around Cali in different neighborhoods, because I've been to Cali several different times, right? And I was going through different neighborhoods and I was driving all around, and I went all the way out to where Kobe Bryant's wife lives. And that area is just like beautiful, but it ain't nothing really around it. But then you go all the way back over to Venice, and then you drive up to Glendale, and you go through LA or whatever. And I drive around some of these places, and these homes are like shacks. They're like shacks. And it'd be like 4 different people all living in there, and they be in bunk beds and stuff like that. And I was like, how are these people able to survive? Why would you stay here and you living below the poverty line?
26% of the population is really economically and financially at risk here. And it's one of the reasons why in this neighborhood in South Central LA, in the last downturn, home prices crashed by almost 50%. It was a massive downturn. And you can see since then, home prices have exploded due to, let's call it some gentrification. Let's also call it investors
reading that super chat shortly.
Homes, pushing the prices up. According to data from Redfin, almost 30% of the home purchases in this zip code were by investors in the last year. And you can see, this area, it's improved, but a lot of the homes, they still have bars on the windows, right? They still have bars on the windows. And despite that, you go on Zillow and the houses are listed for almost 800 grand.
800 who? 800 who? Y'all got me clutching my pearls. And where? In South Central? Where the majority of where a large portion of the people is living below the poverty line? I almost cursed. I'm not going to curse though, church people. I'm not going to curse though, church people. I'm not going to curse though, daycare people. Don't worry about it. I got y'all back. Anton has been on his best behavior today. Are you telling me that they selling cribs for $850,000? That's a basic shack over there in South Central. The neighborhood where they made a whole movie about called South Central? With bars on the windows? Come on, fam. Tell me y'all not buying homes for $800,000. Y'all buying homes for $800,000? Seriously? In the hood where everybody is below the poverty line? I've been planning and I've been buying up land. I'm going to just stay in my good old Michigan. I'm cool with Michigan. I love Michigan. It's got all 4 seasons. It's good energy, good vibe. Property taxes ain't too high. We got a trash governor, but it's okay. I've been buying up land, and over the next year or so, I'm literally working with my architect to build me my multi-million-dollar home. Oh man, I might have a bag chaser party there. Don't worry, I'm broke though. Honestly, I'm tapped out. I ain't got no cash. It's tight out here for a pimp. It's tight out here for a pimp. You ain't got to worry about me flossing. You ain't going to see no money phones. You ain't going to see nothing that coming. I am tapped. Tapped. Y'all paying $800,000 for that?
At a $5,500 a month payment for someone buying with a mortgage.
$5,500 a month. $5,500 a month. $5,500 a month mortgage payment for that. No way. No way. Y'all too desperate to stay out there in LA. No way y'all paying $5,500 a month for it. No way.
And that's just not sustainable. And what a lot of these big corporate investors do is they use neighborhoods like this as almost like a pump and dump operation.
Yep.
The prices here are cheaper, they can buy cheaper, and then they can get more appreciation during the run up, but then they sell out right before the crash and it gets really bad. And later in this video, I'm gonna actually talk more about, if you're a homebuyer investor, how to understand the likelihood of home price declines in your zip code. It's important you understand the economic risk factors and housing risk factors of where you potentially buy real estate.
Listen, man. Listen, I see why y'all losing y'all cribs and getting evicted. I see why y'all losing y'all cribs and getting evicted. I do. I don't understand how y'all out here paying $5,500 a month for these cribs, man. Y'all don't think that this is insane? Where the average household income is between $67,000 and $70,000 a year across the United States? How are people being able to live like this? I seriously am out of touch. I have no clue what the heck is going on out here in these streets. But I got a solution for y'all coming up in the next segment of the show. Shout out to Dwayne Whitfield in the building, says that Anton, see, y'all tried to get me. That Anton, great show, tell Aladdin, we see him. We see you, Aladdin. Shout out to Aladdin out here with his hat on and his long beard. Vaughn is in the building, says Delaware in the building. Shout out to my Delaware people. Shout out to Delaware, says I have a 15 Grand Cherokee and a 2005 Accord. Mother effers don't know how to stay down until you come up and still make him speculate. And here's the thing, once you get all the way up, you don't even necessarily trying to sell. You ain't even necessarily trying to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Vaughn, making a smart decision. Shout out to all of my bag chasers. Rich is in the building, says, sorry I'm late. First day in college for cybersecurity. The grind don't stop. I love it. We got the best audience in the world. Black Man Unfiltered is in the building, says, the Black Man Unfiltered Network. He just came through and dropped something inside of the offering plate. Shout out to my dog, Black Man Unfiltered. J Ben says, I'm going to go donate plasma and pop out with that Corvette Escalade on 28 spinners with the Brembo brakes. I then put 218s in the trunk and cruise the hood. Yo, my 96 Impala that I just bought with the floor shifter, less than 30,000 miles, man, I was looking at that car. I drove it over the weekend, you know what I'm saying, for Labor Day weekend. I'm not doing one thing to it. Not one thing. Me and my brothers, that was up here from Tampa. And so we riding around in it, we chilling, we hanging, we vibing. Some of y'all ran into me in downtown Detroit. Shout out to all of my people. Some of y'all ran into me in Royal Oak. I'm not doing one thing to my car. I'm leaving it 100% stock. Shout out to the people donating plasma out here getting that bag. Christian Hutchinson is in the building. My guy says 2 tenants, one in Sterling and one in Grosse Pointe. Oh, you getting money. You getting money. Holding on by a thread, paying 2 to 3 days later every month. Hope they move now versus the winter eviction. Chris, stop raising your prices. Stop raising your prices. I have never raised the prices on my tenants ever. I've actually reduced my costs, which then allowed for me to then keep the prices exactly what they are. See, I'm going to have a whole Patreon about that. Stop raising your prices, Chris. Stop raising your prices, all right? Jean Loaded Locks Henry said, it's because of sanitation, OG. I'm in pest control, and a lot of people be living foul. I get it. I don't rig up classic cars. I see you out here in the chat telling me, letting me know what's happening. We all on the same page, family. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. If you have not already, get that Teach Henley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Also, on top of that, tap into the Patreon. Make sure you get into the Discord. The link to the Discord is attached to any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. Let's run it up. Last but not least, I got a solution for y'all. Now, I'm never going to have a conversation about car prices going up. Crime happening over here in our neighborhoods in California and Chicago. What did I say? Car prices is going up. Eviction notices. Home prices, y'all paying $5,500 a month for it. We got these women out here getting hit in the head with bricks, all of this type of stuff, right? But I'm going to give you a solution. Actually, I'm not going to give you a solution, but I want to have a discussion because there are alternative solutions, but now even those places are being priced out. How y'all feel about moving to Wyoming? How y'all feel about moving to Wyoming? Don't worry about it. We're going to get to it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let's rock out.
Here's a
It's the last thing we're going to talk about, and then I'm going to get y'all off of y'all day. We got over 2,000 people in here. I need y'all to hit a like for the algorithm.
Line about averages. Take a man and put one of his feet in a bucket of ice and the other in a bucket of boiling water, and on average, he's comfortable. On average, Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Wait a minute. I need those graphic images. I need that transition that just happened. Let me back up for a minute. Look at the transition that he had on there.
He's comfortable. On average, Jackson Hole, Wyoming is a really comfortable place to live, but
who the editor? Who the transition team out here? Somebody get them out here and tell them Anton want to hire them. That transition image was slapping. Shout out to you.
As Ben Tracy found, it does help if you have a lot of money.
Did y'all imagine living out there? Who's up for living in Wyoming? A lot of y'all say, Ye is out there. Ye ain't even living in Miami. In Wyoming. Ye is over there in France getting head on a boat publicly. Ye is a crazy dude, man. Ye is out here living this crazy life. I don't know what Ye doing and what he doing. I heard he was over there getting that Gog 3000 publicly with his behind side out. Give me my 30 million. I ain't cussing out one time in this whole live stream. I don't want to live out there. I mean, that's just me personally. I'm not built for this. I'm not built. Aaron, we talked about bottle wars last night on the Q show. That was one of the first things that we talked about is the bottle wars.
Jackson, Wyoming is often called the last of the Old West. Its cowboy culture runs so deep, it even rides along on the morning cup of coffee. And while some of the best things in life here may be free, you pay a steep price to live in this valley known as Jackson Hole.
I love this community and I love the place where I live, but...
See, they got purple hair over there in Jackson too, so y'all stop acting like the modern women is just over there in the major cities. They got purple hair everywhere, and she matching her hair with her outfit.
There is always that question in the back of your mind of, are you going to be able to survive here?
Elizabeth Hutchings moved here from Massachusetts in 2018.
So she moved there from New York. She said, we tired of the rats. In 2018, before the pandemic, she said, you know what? I want a slower life. I want to be out here with the bison. I want to eat bison meat. I want to get some Venice. I want to hit some deer. You know what I'm saying? I want to get some cows, grass-fed. The last of the Mohicans is out here. I want to chill. I came here. I brought my purple hair here, but I brought my spirit. My spirit is different. She said, I'm moving out to Wyoming, all right?
For the first 7 months, the only place she could afford to live was in her van.
Between living in your van, your car, and various apartments, how many places have you lived here in 4 years?
Let's see, van. 8 or 9.
8 or 9.
And in a lot of places, there's been that question of, oh, this is home, but for how long?
Teton County is now home to a divide bigger than those mountains for which it's named. It is the wealthiest and most unequal in America. The average...
Did you know that in this specific place in Jackson, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly, shout out to JC, that it is the wealthiest and most divided in America? I did not. This is my first time hearing it. See, y'all not going to just be running out to Jackson or out there in Wyoming and Jackson and all of that other type of stuff and running up the prices. They priced you out. They don't see you. They can't hear you because all of the millionaires and billionaires is already taking advantage of it. Yeah.
Income here is $318,000.
Did he say the average income is $318,000? Hold on, let me back up for a minute.
Teton County is now home to a divide bigger than those mountains for which it's named. It is the wealthiest and most unequal in America. The average income here is $318,000. And
average income is $318,000. That's a stunt for you right there. That's stunting at the highest level. That's stunting at the highest level. They said, listen, you want to come here? Huh? You thought that Miami was a spot? Nah. You thought that they was going to be over here in LA and Calabasas making moves? Nope. You thought that you was going to be hanging out over there in Massachusetts? You thought that you was going to be over there in New York and that you was going to be getting to the bag? Mm-mm. They said, listen, fam, the average income over here is $318,000. See, and this is why we need to have a Millionaire Morning Show. Because one of the benefits of being on the Millionaire Morning Show is I get to expose y'all to things that y'all normally wouldn't see in your algorithm or that you're not familiar with. Things that is not being discussed within our culture and our community. And so when you talking about the average income is $318,000, come on, man. Come on, man.
The average single-family home price is now more than $5.5 million.
The average single-family home price, average, is $5.5 million. Now I see why she been living in her car. Now I see why, listen, I see why she the barista. I see why she the barista. I see why she didn't fall into 9 different places. Because you can't afford to be here, Jack.
That's left a food pantry overwhelmed by demand, staring at $6 million townhomes rising across the street.
Wow. Wow, they priced you out. $6 million townhome. And you got to pay the property taxes on that joint. You got to pay property taxes on that joint. $6 million townhomes, and you got to pay the property taxes on that joint. We not letting you come in here. We priced you out, big dog.
The level of wealth you see and the level of disparity that you see. I mean, some people have more money you could spend in 10 lifetimes.
There's a saying in town that you either have 3 homes or 3 jobs. Many workers have been forced to cheaper towns nearly 40 miles away.
Get on out of here.
Sometimes treacherous roads. Hutchings works at a local restaurant. And when we met last summer, she shared this basement apartment with a roommate. Since then, she's had to move again.
If you're spending so much of your time driving or so much of your time working just trying to survive, I think everybody has that question of, is it worth it?
I know how we can fix that. Hold on. Let me make sure her hair is pinned up. You know how we can fix this, right? You ain't never got to worry about making sure that you ain't got nowhere to lay your chinny chin chin or your heady head anywhere. Listen, you have assets, baby girl, that no man will ever be able to have, no matter how many different transitions that he tries to go through. You know we can fix that, right? Yep. We can fix that. No, you wanted to be modern. You wanted to work hard. You said that you was going to level up, and now it's getting tough out here. You moved from Massachusetts. You wanted to hang out in Boston. You said that it's too expensive over here. Centennial is wild, said the Bunny Ranch. You wanted to live in Boston. You thought that you was going to get away with that and live in a quiet community over here in Wyoming. She in a bind, Nate. Hey, Nate, she in the bind, Nate. It's tough out here in these streets, Nate. I'm in a bind, Nate. Nate about to fix that. Old school. Dig in the scene where the players lean. Shout out to you, baby girl.
To move again.
If you're spending so much of your time driving or so much of your time working just trying to survive, I think everybody has that question of,
rough life.
Is it worth it?
This area here is actually one of the holdovers in town that I imagine in 5 years even will look very different.
Yale School of the Environment professor Justin Farrell grew up in Wyoming and is author of the book Billionaire Wilderness. He says the middle class here has been completely hollowed out.
Inequality is an issue playing out across the country. Is it uniquely bad here?
It is uniquely bad, actually. It's nation-leading bad. If you're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, you're likely living in your car, or you're living 45 minutes away. For most people, it's becoming unlivable.
The reason
if you make $60,000, you can't come here. You got to go ahead and move somewhere else. I don't care if you're a remote worker. I don't care if you actually got an extra job. You can't hang out here if you're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. They golfing over there, right? They hanging out in their tractors. They pricing you out. They starting to move over into the middle of the country because they realize that y'all over there in Wyoming, they going to have a different life than the people over in New York, Miami, and LA, and over in Arizona.
Says is that the ultra-wealthy find Teton County very livable. Their arrival here accelerated during COVID.
$26 million for a crib. Listen, that's out of my tax bracket. That's way, way outside of my, well, we in the same tax bracket, but it's that's out of my buying range. That's out of my property tax bracket. Let's put it like that. We've been saying the wrong thing. We keep talking about our tax bracket. We need to be talking about our property tax bracket. That is way outside of my property tax bracket. I can't swing it. I can't swing it, fam. I don't know what to do. I don't have no solutions for you. All I know is 26 M's for a property in Wyoming is way outside of my property tax bracket, fam.
The desire for multi-million-dollar mountain escapes has created a new land rush.
Americans have always looked west. It's always been the lodestar of American identity. And probably Jackson Hole with the cowboy image and the Tetons. It's, I think, what makes it so special for so many people.
It looks nice.
On top of that, it's functionally a tax haven.
I actually have not, oh, wait a minute, tax haven. Let me rewind that.
So Wyoming does not have a state income tax. It doesn't have a corporate tax. So it's a really great place to park your.
Wait. It don't have a state income tax and it don't have a corporate tax? Well, no wonder all of the people that got bags is moving there. No wonder all of the big-time billionaires is making that their main residence. And if you worth over $100 million, you don't mind spending a bag there. No wonder. Now we starting to get down to the brass tacks. See, when we review these videos, we always understand that it comes back down to the money. If we watch the video long enough, we get to the real meat and potatoes as to why they are all moving there. They have no corporate tax and no income tax. Now we getting down to the brass tacks of things. Now we starting to make sense as to why it is that this is why they moving all of their money there. It's a tax shelter because you don't understand that every state makes up its own rules as to how it is that it governs its citizens, especially from a financial perspective. I'm going to visit Wyoming. Yes, I am. Next year, I promise. I had already said that I was going. Before Kanye had sold his place, I said I'm about to go over to Wyoming and see if I can get Kanye to come holler at me and do an interview. I'm going to go and be like, hey, what up, though? Okay, I got you.
Money legally.
All that wealth is cleverly disguised behind a facade of pickup trucks and jeans. It's almost as if the landmark watering hole, the $1 million cowboy bar, knew what was coming.
This place is really unique because it allows people to engage in this personal transformation to become a normal person. They rely on the Western stereotypes to do that. And so you have these millionaires and even billionaires dressing in Wrangler jeans, dressing down, trying to avoid any sort of class indicators that might make them look wealthy. And I think it's really well-intentioned.
Phil Hartle is a private wealth advisor who moved here from high-tax California.
Even the wealth advisors decided to go over there and go to Wyoming.
Good girl.
He and his wife Monica relocated to Jackson in late 2020.
It was really about living in a different kind of place and really being closer to nature. And so it's tremendous to be a part of that.
I get a sense that you really do have a respect for the place. And I don't want this to sound rude, but I assume you're aware that some people here think you're part of the problem.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
How does that feel?
It's my responsibility to show them that, I understand that we came here more recently. We're COVID babies, right? But at the same time, if you approach it with a regard and a respect and a listening, and at the end of the day, like anywhere, they judge you as an individual, what kind of person you are.
Hartle says he's planning to donate a third of his tax savings to local nonprofits and charities. Teton County is one of the most philanthropic communities in America.
Am I part of the problem? Sure I am. I'm one of the people that came in and was able to buy a house at a marked up price. And I'm very grateful for that. But again, I also see that I have an obligation as a result.
And meanwhile, Purple Hair over here is in struggle mode.
For Elizabeth Hutchings, she says she just wants to make sure people like her, the horsepower that keeps this cowboy town running, can also call it home.
If we don't find a way to create a more equitable society and to support people with housing and human services, you won't have an economy. You won't have dozens of nice restaurants to eat at.
Do you look?
Yeah, you will. We always will. The same way that Dubai has it is the same way that Wyoming is going to have it. The same way that all of these other places that have a disproportionate amount of wealth, and then they bus you in, or they have you migrate in order to do your job, and then you can migrate back out in order to make sure that you go ahead and live wherever it is that you live. Or you could just struggle for the rest of your life because you in a bind, Nate. It's the same way that Wyoming and every other place is going to operate, because it is a class war and not necessarily a race war. And the minute that you realize it is when it's going to be too late, and that's why I'm inviting you guys to come over to the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right, you ain't got to worry about it. Let me get a couple more super chats in here, and then I'm going to get y'all out for the day. Shout out to JC Incorporated, says, I would live out there only with 4 wives. What do y'all need 4 wives for? That's what I'm curious about. Yo, listen. I am absolutely slammed with 1, 2, 3, and 4. No, thank you. I'm just not, I'm a simple man. I am a very simple man. I am okay with my toys, my cars, my little bitty watches. You know what I'm saying? I got me a little studio. I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I don't need 4. Give me 1.5. Give me 1 wife, 1 midget. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Give me 1 wife, 1 midget. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the little people. YMC. Y'all don't get it. Don't worry about it. I got you. Aaron says, Bottle Wars. Oh, Wyoming. I've been in Wyoming, the most boring place ever. Some people like boring. Aaron. I don't think it's boring. I think boring is a state of mind. I've never been bored no matter where it is that I visited. You know what I'm saying? Aaron says, if they price you out, why would you work as a regular job there? Why drive an hour to work at CVS? How does that affect the infrastructure? I don't know. Maybe that's something that we need to be able to explore. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dog Aaron in the building. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. We still over 2,100 people in here at the end of the show, 2 hours in. I love y'all. We are in the greatest space ever. Thank you for showing the people that Anton deserves 30 million. I tell y'all what, I get my 30, I'm giving $1 million out to the Bag Chasers. You know what I'm saying? Later on today, I'm gonna be dropping the DC information inside of the Patreon. Also, late November, we are doing the Patreon give back to the people. Basically, making sure that I fund y'all businesses with no strings attached when you give a pitch, in order to make sure that you guys really got that leg up to do the thing that's in your own best interest. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold me down. Let me read one more super chat. Jamal Park says, 4 wives, cap. Trust me, 1 is enough. Listen, man, the way that my back is set up, the way that my knees is set up, I be tired. I be needing to take a nap throughout the day sometimes, and I don't have the capacity to do so. I'm in a whole nother lane, man. It ain't got nothing to do with no woman. Last thing I'm thinking about is bringing another chick into the household to come over here and give me a headache talking about, Anton, could I get another $4,000 to $8,000 in order to be able to buy this and buy that because I want to go shopping? I'd rather spend my money on myself. I'm already tapped out here. I'd rather spend the money on myself. You know what I'm saying? When you got one, you can be a little bit more selfish. Daughter is almost out, but don't get me started. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. Same time tomorrow. We started on time. We're going to start on time tomorrow too. And I have not, look at Rita. I have not had one person that can hold Anton accountable and say Anton was cussing, because I am coming for my bag. Make sure you send this to all of the churches. Make sure you pay the churches their money, give them their tithes and offering. Make sure you send this over into the daycare. Shout out to my truck drivers, everybody that's over there in Wyoming, all of my people over in the Space Force. Salute to y'all. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Controlled Substance Podcast says, I have a Wyoming LLC. It's the new offshore option. Shout out to you. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Greatest morning show on earth. We do this, family. We do this, family. But I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. All right? Make sure you share this with your family and friends. Thank you, Mama T. Thank you. I did really. See, I'm changing. I'm evolving. I promised y'all I was going to execute. Execution completed. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody that tunes in. Man, y'all the greatest show. Y'all the greatest show on earth. Y'all are the show. I'm just the person that be able to execute it. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it for y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.